Your party people, welcome to the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown, the safe space where we set oppression ablaze, and we know that like a phoenix, better shit will come out the ashes. Thank you all so much for showing up today. I super duper appreciate it. And gang, today's the last day of our summer fundraiser, and let me just say, y'all rocked out with your cocks out. I don't know how else to say it, to be perfectly honest. Thank you so much for helping us. We fell short of our goal, but I don't give a shit. Y'all showed up in a very big way. Tunde is going to have the calculations for us a little later on in the show and let us know exactly how close to our goal that we came. But listen, guys, the fact that we were even managed to get 25% of the way to the goal, 30% of the way to the goal. That's amazing, because this is independent media over here, y'all. We don't have no big backers. Ain't nobody written no 5-6 figure check to keep Burning Down with Kim Brown on the air. This is people powered by people like y'all. And I appreciate y'all for showing up and for being good customers, basically, of what it is that we do here. Dawn Gibson, I see you, sis. Love you so much. Hold up, and I got some shout outs real quick because Black Magic came through with the early blessings on this Friday. Esai or Essie, I'm gonna call you Esai. Esai, thank you so much. That was a very kind and generous donation for you to give us. Thank you so much. What's up to Cynthia? What's up, Roy? What's up, Armandenis? I'm sorry, don't let me fuck up y'all names too bad. Pull me up if I'm getting way wrong. Leslie G, Franny French, Susan, Samaya, thank you guys so much. Sujay, thank you all so much for your very kind and very generous donations to support this media platform here. And listen, guys, this is the last day. So it's still time for you to get in where you fit in. We're not really looking for patrons. I mean, listen, we'll take any amount that you want to give. Nothing is too small. However you want to give it, it's cool. You can do it via Super Chats. What's up, Shirley? Thank you so much, Shirley, for your support. You can do it via Cash App at $BIDWKB, Venmo at BIDWKB, PayPal.me/BIDWKB, or you can sign up to become a patron at patreon.com/BIDWKB. Latif, thank you, darling. Thank you, Latif. Say what's up to LJ for me, Latif. Thank you guys so much, so much. On behalf of me, Tunde, Genevieve, and Molly, we are deeply appreciative for you guys to helping us stay on the air. And, you know, it was funny. Let me tell y'all a quick story. So weeks ago, like maybe even months ago, we were all having a discussion about what we can do to improve the show. And Tunde said, well, maybe we can improve our aesthetic. I said, well, Tunde, does that mean you want me to get a trainer? And he was like, no. I mean, improve your aesthetic behind you. So we're working on it. You know, we're going to move to a different location in the house. We're trying to get it together. But I'm so grateful. Northern Witch, you are the wonderfulest, darling. Oh, Northern Witch, you got rocked out with your socks out up there in Alaska with that big 7.8 earthquake. I'm assuming you're okay. If you're here with us in the chat and you were dropping us some coin, I'm assuming things are okay up there in Alaska. We appreciate you, sis. So listen, guys, wonderful show coming up. Before I even get into the show, for our patrons, again, not too late for you to sign up to become a patron on Patreon. After the show tonight, we are going for our summer AMA, the Ask Me Anything. That's going to start approximately 6:30. We're only going to go till 7:30. So we're going to get us a good, strong hour in. So we want you to be in the place. All of our patrons will get that notification with the link, etc. So patreon.com/BIDWKB. Toby Swoley. Thank you, darling. Thank you, Toby Swoley. You are awesome. Yeah, and y'all are amazing out this bitch. Oh, speaking of, you guys, we've got a great show for you here today. A couple things on the table. First of all, if you live in Tennessee or Texas and you have school-age children that attend public school, woo, you've got a lot of homeschooling to do, because those legislatures, state legislatures, have basically tried to outlaw critical race theory, which is not necessarily something that is taught in schools, but they wanted to go the extra mile, the double down, triple down, quadruple down on that white supremacy instruction. Anything that makes America sound bad, teachers are being threatened that you bet not teach that shit or else there will be penalties. And in Tennessee, they are proposing some of the most ridiculous penalties. And in Texas, Texas teachers are not happy about that. We're going to get into that later on in the show. We're also going to say sayonara to the Olympics, Tokyo. I don't know if I'd call it a success, given that, you know, as we have talked about on this show, some Black women Olympians from not only America, but in other places as well, were precluded from participating in their designated events for, you know, ultimately some racist bullshit. But some sisters managed to come out with the gold, baby. Shout out to that Jamaica 4x1 relay team. I think they got it done with the gold. But we got some Black women Olympians, some Black American women Olympians that are not getting all the attention that Simone Biles got, that Allison Phoenix got. So we're going to get into that just a bit later. Who just dropped us a 55th? Who just dropped us that? Woo! Thank you. Thank you so much. Kev Z 24/7. Not Kev. We appreciate you so much, Kev. That's what's happening. Thank you so much for that. Guys, we're also going to talk about, I would be remiss if we did not discuss Nina Turner and her loss. Tuesday, we were all here very optimistic, very hopeful that Sister Nina would get it done in that special election for Ohio's 11th congressional district. But she did not get it done, and not so much her fault. There was some chicanery afoot in that special election. You guys know what it was, but we're going to talk about this and talk about what's next for people like Nina Turner. What's next for people like Charles Booker and these other very progressive, especially Black progressive candidates. Like, how long are they going to accept being undercut by the Democratic Party and Democratic special interests and keep running as Democrats? Like, at some point, you got to say, fuck them niggas, right? At a certain point in time, you got to say middle finger to that donkey and keep it pushing. We'll talk about Nina Turner in just a bit. But first of all, guys, we want to lead off with the whole cancel rent movement, the whole eviction moratorium semi-debacle. I think it's safe to actually call it a debacle, because the federal eviction moratorium was allowed to expire. Period, point blank, went away. Congress recessed last Friday in order to, I don't know, take vacations. I don't know what the fuck Congress be doing when they recess for 6 weeks. Like, the audacity to go on vacation when you have work undone, right? But that's very typical for Congress. I don't expect much out of Congress in terms of actual action and getting things done and actually working on behalf of the people. That's not what Congress does. Congress works on behalf of the money. We know this. The guys, the fraud is that they're there to do the people's business, but they aren't. However, a couple of them might be, and one of them could be Representative Cori Bush. Now, we know what Cori Bush did. She and several other members of the squad camped out, slept on the steps of the U.S. Capitol to bring attention to the fact that this eviction moratorium was expiring. Tuesday, remember, guys, we had Chuck Modiano here. Chuck had been covering that protest. Tuesday, it was announced that the CDC was going to impose a very targeted, narrow moratorium on evictions, which we all know, if it doesn't help out everybody, then the fuck would y'all even bother putting this half-ass shit out here for, right? And by the way, despite the celebrations from Cori Bush and others after that CDC made their announcement about their, we'll call it a moratorium in quotations, the protest didn't stop. If you go to Chuck Modiano's Twitter page, Chuck was out there over the weekend, or probably be over this past couple of days, because people were still out there, because they understood that 100% of the folks are not covered by this. People who are facing eviction, people who are down really hard on their luck, not only as a result of COVID, but fuck, before COVID. I mean, shit was rough out here economically, and the housing market, which has tightened and become even worse. I can't even imagine that's the anguish that's going on right now for people who are facing eviction, man, because if you're about to get put out, where are you going, right? If you got an eviction on your credit, how are you going to apply for another place to rent? It's such a fucking scam. Everything drives me nuts. Are you trying to talk to me today? Okay, sorry. So I want to have someone put this a bit more in perspective for us. And this is a clip from Chuck Modiano. And this was Chuck. This might have been Tuesday evening is when this is from. Chuck interviewed none other than the very erudite Jacqueline Luqman. Luqman Nation, stand up. And if anybody can put this shit in terms that even a simpleton like I can understand, it is Jackie Luqman, y'all. And while Jackie kind of gave Cori her props, Jackie laid it out on the line exactly what is at stake. We are not here to be fans of people, right? We are here to make sure that the people's business is done and that marginalized and vulnerable people have their barest needs taken care of. Housing, utmost of that needs, forefront of those needs. So take a listen to Jacqueline Luqman, Luqman Nation, as interviewed by Chuck Modiano on the steps of the U.S. Capitol Tuesday night.
But this is a bigger issue than one particular politician and the way one particular politician handled this. Because you and I know that people have been in the streets across this country demanding a cancellation of the rents for over a year. And then folks come out here for a feel-good little dance party because they got a halfway, maybe it covers 80% of the counties that have high or significant COVID transmission rates, and it might keep those people from getting evicted. But what about all the other places where everybody else is getting evicted? So, okay, fine. Something had to be done. All right.
So where do we go? So where do we go next? What do the people do next?
The people have to continue to do what we've been doing. People have to not be afraid to challenge and confront these politicians. I understand that Cori Bush came from Ferguson and she came from the streets, and okay, great. But my opinion, I think she came to DC and she didn't realize how deep this shit is. And I think she just kind of got surprised by the fact that her colleagues, her Democratic colleagues, who are supposed to care for the people so much, don't give a shit that millions of people are about to be evicted. So Joseph, harm reduction better than Trump, Biden, he doesn't give a shit either. He's doing this for his political future. He's doing this because, you know, he doesn't want us crazy socialists and liberals to show up en masse on the Capitol steps. But that's why we have to.
One time, Jacqueline Luqman, Luqman Nation, she spit it straight, no chaser. Give it up for Jackie, y'all. Listen, when Jackie put it like that, and we had this conversation on the Remix Morning Show over on Black Power Media, you need to go subscribe there if you haven't already. But she really broadened my perspective on this, because I thought Cori was doing all that she could do. And perhaps she was doing all that she could do. And if you go to Twitter and follow journalist Malika Jabali, she did a thread detailing the different actions taken by Cori Bush and Ayanna Pressley leading up to the expiration of this moratorium. They have been doing stuff piecemeal, right? But the problem is there was not enough Democrats doing something, anticipating this moment, readying what the next steps were going to be once this eviction moratorium expired, or rather was overturned by the courts. I guess this was maybe 6 weeks ago out there, the Supreme Court, bitch ass Brett Kavanaugh, bitch ass. Oh, Potomac ass nigga. Ain't never, and I'm telling you, Brett Kavanaugh ain't ever worried about the rent ever a day in his life. The audacity of these motherfuckers. But something else that Jackie had said on the show, on the Remix Morning Show, was that cancel rent activists, tenants unions, tenants associations have been doing actions and organizing around not just the eviction moratorium, canceling rent all too fucking together, right? basically, an eviction moratorium is a credit card bill coming due in several months. And when that bitch come due, it's going to be big, right? It's going to be in the thousands. So necessarily not putting people out on the street is one step, but not making sure that keeping people housed during this pandemic is not going to put a tremendous financial burden on people once the eviction moratoriums come to a cease. Now, part of this problem has to do 100% with the ridiculous levels of bureaucracy, not only from the federal government, but from the states as well. Do y'all know how many billions of dollars these states are sitting on in rental assistance, and it just has not been distributed? But meanwhile, evictions are moving forward. People are getting put out today. And I was looking at a story about what all is involved for people to apply for this rental assistance, and it's very onerous process. It is an extremely onerous process. So much so that I'm sure some people would probably just be like, you know what, fuck this, give up. You know what I mean? Like, it's, I don't know where my 2017 taxes are. I don't know where, you know, I mean, it's just a lot of additional paperwork. Whereas people are dealing with the issue of just trying to survive, right? They need to expedite the process. They need to stop sitting on their hands. And I know, at least coming from the right, the conservative angle of this is like, oh, well, you can't just distribute out this rental assistance because people will take advantage. Nigga, was you paying attention during the PPP loans? Can you tell me why Tampa Bay Tom Brady needed a PPP loan? The nigga sitting on $200 million. Why was he applying for PPP loans? Why were all these very wealthy individuals applying and receiving for PPP loans? Same thing as these big corporations, these big food chains applying for and receiving these PPP loans. Meanwhile, either laying people off or not paying people a living wage. So don't talk to me about scams, shorty, because the 1%, the wealthy elites and the corporate class of the United States scams this country daily. They don't just scam the government, they scam the workers, they scam the customers, they scam the environment. I mean, miss me with the scamology. I don't even want to hear it. But speaking of actions, one of the, I want to say prolific, maybe that's not the word I want to use. Let's just say I'm about it. One of the most bouted tenant organizations in this country is coming out of Missouri, not coming out of Cori Bush's district, but on the other side of Missouri, over there on Kansas City. The KC Tennis Union, the KC Tennis Association has been our main, when I talk about actions like shut shit down kind of actions, let me give y'all a couple of examples, actually. So this is from January. The first clip that we're about to see is the Tenants Union, the KC Tenants Union, some of their leadership risking themselves. They went into the eviction court and tried to stop the proceedings, right? Stopping the proceedings from taking place. Over this past January 2021, they were going for an action called #ZeroEvictionJanuary, where they were determined not to allow any evictions to proceed in Kansas City, not so long as they was there with their bodies on the line and their shit all together organized. It was beautiful. Let's take a look at A4 if we could today. And again, this is going to be inside the courthouse, right? And they are stopping the eviction process, stopping the eviction courts. Let's take a look at that.
Pandemic. This is not justice. This is not due process. This is violence. All evictions must end. People are dying. Tenants, this is not your fault. You deserve a decent home. You deserve a shelter during the pandemic. You are not alone. Every eviction is an act of violence. 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 Every eviction is an act of violence.
Beautiful stuff there from the KC Tenants Association, the Kansas City Tenants Union out there. And if just FYI, if you happen to live in KC, KC Mo, KCK, I know the difference. Okay. Go to their Twitter page, KC Tenants, because they have a hotline available there for people who are seeking either rental assistance or helping to stop their eviction from going forward. So, and just to let y'all know, again, the KC Tenants are with the shits. Another clip we're going to look at back from January has to do with them literally locking down the courthouse. Now, this took balls, big balls. Let's take a look at that today.
Eviction! Eviction! January! January! Zero! Zero! Eviction! Eviction! January! January! Zero! Zero! Eviction! Eviction! January! January!
Yes. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So guys, listen, and please spread the word. A lot of these mutual aid organizations across the country are posting very useful information and resources about how to stop the eviction process. I know in DC, they have a program called Stay DC, which again, if you're able to get past the application process, it could probably be very helpful for you. But the problem is if your application is held up and your landlord has decided to engage in eviction proceedings against you, then you are shit out of luck. And it's a glaring, obviously, failure. Sometimes I get frustrated saying that's a failure of government because guess what, nigga, when is the government not failing the people, right? Constant failures. It failed us during the pandemic. It's failing us now. It's failing us with wages. It's failing us with housing. It's failing us with education. And in so many ways, if the pandemic did not show you this in the past year, if you don't know it now, if you didn't know it then, you best know it now that we are on our own out here, And just to give you guys an idea, today, if you could pop up A3 for me, please. So this is another reason why not only are we on our own, but it's important for us to put our necks, pardon me, our boots on the necks of our politicians, even the politicians that we don't like. And even the ones that we do like, especially the ones that we don't like, but even the ones that we do like. So this is out of Ohio, everybody, from the Columbus Dispatch. Franklin County is not going to comply with the latest eviction moratorium, according to a judge's ruling. OK, this is coming from Franklin County Municipal Court Administrative Presiding Judge Ted Barrows. If you live in Columbus, you might want to go TP that nigga's house. It's like, don't do that because y'all going to tell him I said to do it. And then I'm going to get in trouble. This Bama said that, listen, on Thursday, that based on an appeals court decision last month, the court is not bound by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's latest eviction moratorium. And this is not just the case in Columbus, in Ohio. I'm really afraid that we're going to see these kinds of rulings come out locally and statewide in states all over the place, right? The eviction moratorium, the fact that it's so specific, it's almost useless, right? So I want us to take a look. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Now, this is interesting from this article real quick. So on July 23rd, the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the CDC overstepped its bounds when it issued a moratorium last year to help curb the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Okay, now based on the ruling, the Franklin County Court release said that courts in Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, and Michigan are no longer, I'm gonna read that to y'all again. Based on that ruling, the Franklin County Court, this is in Ohio, said that courts in Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, and Michigan are no longer bound by the latest moratorium that the CDC imposed on Tuesday. Hey guys, you know what? There's a lot of people that live in Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, and Michigan. Can you imagine that instantly that those people are not covered by the moratorium? So, and again, as much as we root for Cori Bush, this is what Jackie Luqman was talking about, y'all. It's incomplete. It's inefficient. And even though some people have gotten an additional 60 days, it's October that this most recent CDC moratorium expires. The problem is it's probably going to get challenged in court, and it could end sooner than that. So what the fuck is the Biden administration doing? Let me repeat the question. What the fuck is the Biden administration doing? Well, not doing a whole goddamn lot. This is Jen Psaki, press secretary. Fuck girl. She just strikes me as a fuck girl. Jen Psaki addressed press from the White House. This was Wednesday. Now listen to what she had to say about a lot of nothing. And it doesn't sound as though the Biden administration is taking very much steps and actions on its own in order to ensure this. And let's also be clear, this is where Cori Bush does deserve credit, because had she not done what she done, had she not given that performance, as some want to call it, Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi would have just been A-OK with Congress being in recess for 6 weeks, and they wouldn't have said shit about it. They wouldn't have done anything about it. And contrary to what Jen Psaki is about to say, just don't believe the hype. Today, let's take a look at what the White House press secretary had to say.
Walk us through what changed from Monday to Tuesday when it comes to the eviction ban. On Monday, Gene Sperling stood here and said the CDC has been unable to find the legal authority for even new targeted eviction moratoriums. There are many people across the administration who said the same thing, and yet the CDC did just that yesterday. So what changed?
Well, I think it's important to take a step back a little bit before that to Sunday when we were engaged. The administration, the White House was engaged directly with the CDC at the direction of the president to ask them to look into what legal options, if any, existed there were to extend the eviction moratorium. That process was underway for a couple of days. The announcement yesterday was a reflection of exactly that. And when we put out a statement on Monday, right before Gene Sperling came out to the briefing, right before we came out to talk with all of you, that also made clear in there that at that time, they had not yet found a legal pathway forward. What was announced yesterday was not an extension of the existing moratorium, which was, of course, national. It was a more limited moratorium that was going to be impacting and helping areas that were hardest hit by COVID. So different than the last moratorium. That was also reflected in the statement that we issued on Monday, that was the president's ask to look into a more limited moratorium. They did that. And yesterday's announcement was a reflection of that process.
What's your message to progressives who say they're worried that President Biden's concerns about the constitutionality of this move will end up being a self-fulfilling prophecy and motivate opponents to go ahead and file suit now?
Well, I would first say the president shares their desire, their commitment, and their interest in keeping renters and people in their homes. And that is exactly why he took the step of asking the CDC to look into what legal pathways forward there were. And yesterday's announcement was a reflection of that. We don't control the courts. We don't know what they will do. We are all aware of the Supreme Court decision at the end of June and what was outlined in their decision at the end of June. This is also going to be a temporary solution regardless, and longer-term solution will require legislative action. But his message to anyone who's been a passionate advocate is that he shares their concern. He shares their commitment. He wants renters to be able to stay in their home, and that's why we took this step over the last few days.
And on one other topic, if you don't mind, I know that the president has asked the defense secretary to look into.
And that's why the president took this action over the past several days. Actually, that's not why the president took this action. The president took this action because Cori Bush was making him and the rest of the Democrats look like the cold-hearted bastards that they are. It's so plain and clear that, for one, establishment Democrats, Republicans, lobbyists, like these, we're all talking about the same people, right? There is really not a party divide. There's not a partisan divide. It is the haves and the have-nots. And Joe Biden, when he's not running for election, represents the haves. And he likes to lie to the have-nots when he is trying to seek office that he represents their interests. He never did. Never did. And the whole timeline that Jen Psaki laid out there, she was like, yeah, that's why, the president was engaged with the CDC on Sunday to talk about what was the legal pathway forward. Bitch, Sunday was too fucking late. Sunday was way after the fact. How come the president wasn't engaging or imploring the CDC to take these actions way prior to August, right? And the reason is, guys, is because Joe Biden and the CDC have been fully engaged in the business of trying to reopen this country. They want this economy back on track. And continuing an eviction moratorium, even via executive order, sends the signal that America is not out of the pandemic. Well, no shit, Sherlock. We are not out of the pandemic. No matter how badly the Biden administration and the business class want this pandemic to be done, it just isn't. Okay. And as a result, people are still not only struggling as a result of what the pandemic brought to them economically, and even from a health perspective, even from a mental health perspective, like that, y'all, we lost over 600,000 people, for fuck's sake. Like that is a collective nationwide trauma that you just don't bounce back from right away, especially considering that we are very much still in the midst of this. But for the Biden administration to be so belated in their actions, and then for Jen Psaki to be like, oh, and of course, longer term solutions are going to require a legislative effort. Okay, who is leading that effort? Because the House Speaker, hasn't necessarily said and done too much about that. I'm not saying too much from the democratically controlled Senate. Ooh, nigga. Ooh. Cori Bush, that's who. Ayanna Pressley, that's who. Ilhan Omar, that's who. If nothing else, whatever your complaints are about the squad, what they do is, and I hope that this builds as they hopefully remain in Congress and accumulate power without being co-opted and without overtly selling out per se. But what they do is they bring attention, they bring shame, right, to the actual leaders in power on issues that they should be handling, right? That's something that Nancy Pelosi and the rest of the House, the democratically controlled House and Senate, should be handling and won't. Cori Bush and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are there to make them niggas look bad. And if you want to critique the squad, you can critique them for a myriad of reasons. Bad votes on Israeli funding, valid, 100% valid. But check this here. The niggas that they replaced, the Elliot Engels and the Lacey Clays, would never, ever have taken this stance to support poor people who are on the verge of being evicted. Okay, there's that. On the other side, it should not have been an eviction moratorium. It should have been a push to cancel rent. Period, point blank. If we had money to bail out Tom Brady, if we had money to bail out Trump Enterprises, nigga, we had money to pay people's rent. Period, point blank. And we got plenty of money. The money is absolutely there. The money's in the infrastructure bill. The money's a lot of places. The money's in the Pentagon. It's just a matter of wills. There is no will to do it. There is no will to do it, guys. There is no will to do it. Woo! Y'all getting fired up here in this here chat. I love it. I love it. I see we got 78 people rocking with us right now. Hello, hello. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Burn Down with Kim Brown program. If we could get them thumbs up just a wee bit, smash them likes. If you are not already a subscriber, please subscribe. And by the way, guys, if it's not too much trouble, go on the internet and follow us places, specifically Facebook. Molly said we need more people following us on Facebook. So if we could get a like or a follow, whatever the fuck niggas do on Facebook, go on over to Facebook at BIDWKB and give us some thumbs up. And again, thank you all so much for your support as we round up the last day of our summer fundraiser. Kev Z 24/7 dropped us a smooth 50. You ain't got to be a big baller like Kev Z, but if you got a couple dollars you want to drop us, we will certainly take it, and we appreciate it. And thank you all so much for your support of our program. And while you're supporting us, guys, don't forget, support Black Power Media as well. Really building something very, very, very important over there on Black Power Media. And we are happy to be sort of an apparatus of that, of sorts, but help us. help us too. No shit. Tunde just said that we're at 40% of our goal. Whoa. Woo! That's big time. Woo! We find out. We got a crew full of big timers in here, y'all. Thank you all so much. We're at 40% of our goal. Help us get to 50% before the end of the show. If it's not too much trouble, every little bit helps, and anything that you can give us, we certainly appreciate it. Moving on, gang, to Ohio. And yes, when I saw the results trickling in Tuesday night, my heart fell low. It fell down into my feet. I was very sad. Leah Boggs, thank you so much for your support, baby. Oh, that's the only thing that's going to stop me from not crying, Leah, is that 999 you just dropped us. Thank you, sis. Listen, y'all. Oh, my God. Was I heartbreaking? Was I borderline despondent? Now, listen, I know I just sat here and went through the whole first segment talking about you shouldn't stand politicians. And yes, I understand that. But Nina's different. Nina is one of us. She is one of us. And until she proves otherwise that she ain't one of us, she is one of us from my perspective. Y'all, and Nina Turner ran such a courageous and dogged campaign, but at the end of the day, she was not able to overcome the onslaught of negative ads that were run against her in the special election for Ohio's 11th. And she took the L. And Chantel Brown more than likely will be going to Congress. Now, before we continue to go down that path to figure out what's next for this seat, because this seat is up for re-election next year for the midterms. The Ohio, so whoever wins, got to run again next year. They got to run again next year. Nina lost. They got to run again next year. Nina might be back in this, y'all, real quick. Anna, thank you, darling. Thank you so much, Anna. I wanted to take a quick listen from a portion of Nina Turner's concession speech. Although, shout out to Nina. Nina didn't sound like she was conceding shit. Okay, like she might have gave that little lip service, like, oh yeah, with Chantel Brown ran a great race. No, she ain't mean that shit. This is what Nina really had to say. Lena L, thank you, darling. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it, guys. Let's listen to our homie. Yeah, I said it. Nina Turner, in her concession speech Tuesday night from Ohio.
What I want you to know tonight is that a movement does not stop, it keeps going. Hello, somebody. I appreciate all of you in the 11th Congressional District. And let me just say this to you, sisters and brothers and family and friends. We not gonna stop. See, there's a debt that has to be paid. And Sister Turner not playing. I am going to work hard to ensure that something like this never happens to a progressive candidate again. See, we didn't lose this race. Evil money manipulated and maligned in this election. And you see Sister Turner got a smile on her face. Hello, somebody. Because this movement is strong. And we are going to continue moving to the people who lifted this campaign. 208,000 donations into this campaign. 80,000 donors into this campaign. And we raised $6 million in this campaign. And I don't want you to relent, because it took evil money. It took evil money to come in here and do this. But I swear to you that as sure as there is a God in heaven, Sister Turner gonna continue working with every fiber of her being until true justice reigns. This ain't over.
This ain't over. Nina had her yellow duster on. You know, she meant business out here. This ain't over. And Jonathan Guerrero, thank you so much for your support, honey. And Jonathan asks the right question, ladies and gentlemen, and theys. Jonathan asks, why do we allow Israel to interfere in U.S. elections? Free Palestine. Thank you, Jonathan, for raising that most astute point, gang. I am quite curious why the Democrat, I mean, I know why I'm being facetious and sarcastic out this, but why was the Democratic establishment so content to allow a foreign country to meddle in our elections, right? How come people's hair ain't on fire, at least from the establishment Dems? How come the hair ain't on fire that Israel dropped buku money to defeat Nina Turner? Nina Turner is all for Palestinian freedom. She is unequivocal about that, makes no bones about it. She ain't here to placate a soft shoe, the Palestine issue for nobody. And that's another reason why I have so much respect for Nina Turner. I mean, this is some unpopular shit amongst, political elites, Democratic and Republican. But the fact that pro-Israeli PACs were allowed to come in and dump so much money in Chantel Brown's coffers, or for PACs supporting Chantel Brown, and nobody says nothing? Like, that's not even like a headline? Like, I thought we didn't like foreign countries interfering in our elections, but it's okay if Israel does it? Oh, I see. And Nina Turner is actually receiving some flack for her comments right there, where she called it evil money, right? First, and they're saying that, that's awful anti-Semitic. Nina, listen, we're not doing this, y'all. Israel as a state, as a foreign actor, is bullshit, garbage. They do terrible things to Palestinians. They do terrible things to non-white Jewish people in the state of Israel. Ask our dear brothers and sisters who are Eastern African Jews who come to Israel and Jerusalem. They get fucked with in the worst way. You want to talk about police brutality, nigga? Yes, that's where American cops get it from, because they go to Israel to get all the training. We're not playing that game, because Nina Turner don't have no issue with Jewish people. Bernie Sanders is her youngin'. Bernie Sanders is her homeboy. I just don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, y'all. Y'all know good and goddamn well Nina Turner ain't no anti-Semite, but if she got tough talk for the state of Israel for fucking with her race, she is fully entitled and allowed to say that. And number one, it wasn't just pro-Israeli PACs. A lot of GOP donors poured their money into Chantel Brown. It was a concerted effort to keep Nina out of this seat, y'all. Establishment Dems, Republicans, and big corporate lobbyists, all the same Bamas, right? And they worked to build a wall, basically, to keep Nina out of this seat. Now, you heard what she just said. Nina just ran down her fundraising numbers. Very impressive, right? And let's just there's no equivocation about it. Like, you need millions of dollars to capture a national seat, right? If you want to be elected to Congress, people have to support you to the tune of millions, right? Because there's a lot of corporate and dark money out here putting up bullshit candidates like a Chantel Brown, y'all. And it's going to be interesting. I'm curious now, people in Ohio know this already, but Chantel Brown, and you guys probably already know this already too, but Chantel Brown is under an ethics cloud, right? Because she allegedly steered money for a infrastructure project. I believe it was a paving project, because she's on the Cuyahoga County Council. She's a council member for Cuyahoga County. And she allegedly steered infrastructure money for a paving project to her boyfriend's company, right? That's a no-no. Now, I understand white politicians do this shit all the time. And the funny thing is, black politicians get in trouble for shit that white politicians do daily. So, even though I oppose Chantel Brown in principle, it will be kind of fucked up to see her go down for some shit that white politicians probably just skate on, right? But if it means that opens up an opportunity for Nina Turner to get back in this bitch, well, I'm all for that. And there's an opportunity for Nina to do that. And Nina is alluding to that she's not done, that this isn't over. And if she does not mount a write-in campaign this November, which I don't know, that may be cutting a little close, but she has tremendous name recognition, so I guess it's not off the table. Next November, it's on, right? Nina is coming out guns blazing. And who was it? Oh my God. I was reading someone's thread online, and the person's thread that I was reading now escapes me. But the person was on the ground. There was a reporter, and they said Nina did not run a bad race. Nina was overwhelmed with negative ads for weeks that have been running now for weeks, and she decided to go low, so to speak, against Chantel Brown a little bit too late in the race. So, guys. Don't count out Nina Turner. Don't let nobody say that, oh, Nina wasn't left enough. Nigga, left enough compared to who? Hillary Clinton's homegirl, Chantel Brown? Like, we're not going to be silly here, y'all. If somebody is endorsed and supported by Hillary Clinton and James Clyburn, they are an enemy to Black people. Make no mistake about it, okay? And the fact that Nina Turner was shunned by the establishment, although that wasn't necessarily what she was seeking, their approval nor endorsement, that's who I'm sticking with. Like that attack ad that we ran on Tuesday where they played the Can't Trust It, the Public Enemy in the background, and kept saying that Nina Turner said voting for either Joe Biden or Donald Trump was like picking from two different bowls of shit. I said, yes, she was correct. Facts. Nina Turner. Yes. Anyway, guys. Y'all are amazing. Hey, guys. What's up, Radical Leftist Agenda? What's up, Michael Brown? What's up, Anna Hard? David Silberg's in the building. What's up, Renee? Hey, Renee. Renee is in here. I love Renee. Renee is awesome. Follow on Twitter. Are you trying to talk to me today? Brendan. He said they just didn't want Nina Turner in that seat to watch a Republican candidate win now due to the scandal. Shorty. Listen, we're Molly Shaw. Molly Shaw will come on here and give us a whole dissertation about that race in Kentucky with Charles Booker and Amy McGrath and how basically the fucking Democrats fucked themselves out of an opportunity to defeat that bitch ass nigga Mitch McConnell. Listen, the Democrats is about the money. Honey, they are not here for your principles. They are not here for your progress. If you can't cut the check, the Democrats do not want to hear the shit that you got to say. And that is the real deal. All right, guys. All right. We got to move on because we're in limited time here because we got to get to the AMA. And if you want to join in today's AMA, you can go to patreon.com/BIDWKB, become a patron. We have tiers available as low as $2, guys. We ain't trying to ball out this. Like, you won't see us copping multi-million-dollar houses from this platform because that's not our goal. Our goal here is to bring information, y'all, to enrich the conversation, to broadcast about shit that can hopefully elevate our people and give our allies opportunities to get clued in to shit that's important to us, and to be able to, it would be nice to be able to support ourselves, but we ain't trying to cop no $2 million crib. Y'all know we ain't rolling like that. I want us to move along. Now, me and Tunde are a bit in disagreement here. First of all, shout out to all the Black Olympians. And I know y'all be like, Kim racist as shit. She won't be shouting out. She won't be shouting out. No white Olympians, no white Americans. Listen. The white Olympians in water polo and beach volleyball, they get all their accolades on the Today Show and on their local news broadcast. Listen, there's plenty of accolades for them. Black people, I don't know what's going on with Black people. Unless you are running an event that people are watching, like women's gymnastics or men's track, people just be like, what the fuck ever? Okay, but no, there was a couple of Black American women Olympians that made some news even beyond just their winning. So, but let's start with the shot put sister Tunde. Let's start with B2. So this young woman who is incredible, her name is Raven Saunders. Raven, for one, took the silver in the shot put because she's a bad bitch. Shout out to Raven. But she almost got in real trouble actually over this Olympic protest that she did from the podium. If we could put that picture up, you're going to see Raven standing on the podium with her arms crossed in an X, right? Now, as we know that Olympic athletes were warned in advance of the Tokyo Games that any sort of protest from the podium was A, not allowed, and B, will be punished if they so did so. But Raven threw up the X, and she later explained that she threw up the X because she stands at the intersection of a bunch of different places. She's Black, she's a woman, she's gay, and she's here to do her thug thing. Now, because of that protest, the International Olympic Committee was actually doing an investigation because they were thinking about punishing her. But tragically, Raven lost her mom during these Olympics. I think her mom just passed away Friday, right? And thankfully, the IOC is going to have a heart. Understand that young woman didn't do anything wrong with her protest. The fact that her mother passed away, they are suspending their protest. Suspending their investigation. But I want to take a look at a clip because Raven's mother, before she passed, I think her name was Clarissa Saunders. Miss Saunders got an opportunity to see her daughter medal at the Tokyo Olympics before she passed away suddenly. So this is an interview done with local news. I want to say this is either South Carolina or Florida. I was having a difficult time trying to pin the original where this clip came from originally. But guys, listen to Clarissa Saunders. This is Raven's mom. She's already passed away, but listen to how proud she was of her daughter and her opportunity to show off her talents and skills at the Olympics.
And her mother, Clarissa, they are so excited. Y'all, what does it mean to be seeing Raven compete at another Olympics?
I mean, it's crazy.
Y'all, and they actually went to the last Olympics in Rio. What was that experience like, and how's that different this year?
Well, not being there is, a little bummer, but hey, we're cheering from here, so hopefully she knows we're here cheering for her. So she'll do good. I'm pretty sure she'll do good.
Have y'all been able to talk to her throughout, her time in Tokyo?
Yeah.
What have you been saying to her?
Just stay focused, keep your head up, stuff like that. If you believe you can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what do you wish you could say to her right now, just minutes before her shot put competition?
Well, it's a little thing I don't know if I can say it on TV, but that's a little thing I always tell her.
That's awesome. What about you?
What do you think her mom told her, guys? Like the fact that her mom was like, oh yeah, I tell her something before she has every match, but I can't say it here on television. I'm thinking that Mama Saunders told Raven, you fuck shit up, girl. Or you beat them bitches ass, girl. Yes, it was something with profanity in it, and I'm so in support of it. And our deepest condolences go to Raven Saunders and her family for the passing of her mother, Clarissa. And shout out to Infinite Content. Infinite Content hit me on Twitter. I saw your tweet, hon, because Raven lost her mom. We found out that Simone Biles lost her aunt during the Tokyo Olympics. So these young sisters have been under a lot of pressure, so much pressure. And of course, we know what happened with Sha'Carri Richardson in her qualifying meet for the Olympics, losing her biological mother. So our condolences to all these young women who still showed up and performed exceptionally, even Sha'Carri, even though she didn't get a chance to go. So Tunde, are we still at an impasse over the Uthing Mo clip? So guys, all right, let me tell y'all real quick. So YouTube has been smacking us around with copyright joints, right? And we got hit with a couple of strikes, and one of them joints fell off. So that has made us paranoid. Well, it's made Tunde very paranoid about what clips that we run, because truthfully, there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason as to how YouTube dings us with stuff and why they don't ding us with stuff. We credit everybody. We try to credit actually. We credit our sources. And a lot of this shit is under fair use. So I don't know, Tunde. It's only a minute long. I think we'll be safe. Shout out to Hot Channels. Thank you so much, darling, for your support. I appreciate that. Let's go with it, Tunde, because a lot of people are not saying this young woman's name, and this is really bothering me. So, guys, we're about to see a clip from her Instagram. YouTube, are we clear on that? We didn't pull this from Nike's channel. We pulled this from Uthing Mo's Instagram page. And if you didn't know this young lady, look at her face, look at how she runs, and just feel her vibe and her confidence. And I'm going to tell you what event she won, if you don't already know, when we come back. Take a look at this.
hold on to that aggressive attitude. Yeah, when you go to the games, they're not gonna be friendly to you.
Yeah, I know they're not gonna be freaking friendly. I don't care about them not being friendly because I'm not gonna be friendly either. Because I'm 19, but I don't care.
A thing mode.
Look at the thing mode.
It is over now. 85.
Are you kidding me? A thing mode.
What a way to potentially go out for the fabulous freshman.
She is absolutely a phenom. We're watching something very, very special.
Thing mode, you guys, there's nothing that brings joy and smiles to my heart than to see Black women talk they shit. Okay, fuck with her. She's the baddest out there. Thing mode, guys, was the first American woman to win a gold medal in the 800 meters in over 50 years. Have you seen the profiles on Thing mode? I don't understand why Thing Mo is not a household name across this country, because she is incredible. Shout out to Texas A&M. She's doing an amazing job, and she's already pro. So good for her, Thing Mo. Get your cheddar, sis, and congratulations on that 800 meter win. That was huge, 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 huge. Yes. Okay. Oh, look at all the hearts and stuff in the chat. That makes me smile. Because listen, guys, anytime Black women out here stunting, that needs to be leading the news. Actually, new rule. If it's a story day and Black women are stunting, that is the first thing that we will discuss, because that just hits me right here. Thing Mo, 19 years old, stunting on these hoes. I love it. All right, guys, the last topics we're going to get into before we sign off for this Friday and sign in to our AMA. Woo chow. Now, I live in a weird ass state, okay? In Maryland is not as progressive as advertised. Let me just put that out there, okay? But to Maryland's credit, for God's sakes, Maryland is not fucking Florida, and Maryland is not Tennessee, and Maryland is not Texas. And that is not to besmirch the people of Florida, Tennessee, or Texas at all. It has everything to do with your elected leadership in those states. Those people are literally trying to kill you. And if they're not trying to kill you with COVID, they are trying to kill you with literal ignorance, okay? Texas teachers, according to the Texas Tribune, y'all, Texas Tribune interviewed a handful of teachers across the state of Texas who are saying that the new social studies law is going to hinder how an entire generation understands race, history, and current events. As you know, Texas, the white-controlled state legislator, passed laws basically saying that teachers are not allowed to teach so-called critical race theory, but which basically means that they cannot teach events in history or teach them from the perspective that makes white children feel bad. Now, if you're raising your children right, I don't see how history can make your child feel bad about some shit that they didn't do themselves. At the same time, it can be easily explained to children, that white children, that they are the recipients, they are the beneficiaries of a system of white supremacy that has kept them with more money, more access to resources and education than Black and other brown people, right? I don't think that should make white children feel bad. I think it should make white children angry and make them want to change the system. And that's probably exactly the basis for these laws in Texas and also Tennessee. Now, Tennessee is taking it a step further. I talked about this on the Remix Morning Show over on Black Power Media this week. edweek.org. Is that right? Let me make sure I'm citing my shit correctly. Yes, I said it right. edweek.org published a piece this week that has gone viral. The headline, a $5 million fine for classroom discussions on race in Tennessee. This is the new reality. It's not quite the new reality, actually, when you peel it back just a little bit. In fact, the Tennessee State Board of Education has proposed these guidelines that would penalize school districts $5 million for each instance of a teacher deviating from these new guidelines that makes white people feel bad. And, you know, nobody can, or let me not say nobody, few people can articulate the absurdity and the ridiculousness of white supremacy like other white people. White people who get it can read the shit like a fucking book, and I love it. So we are going to check out this TikToker by the name of Shout's Perspective. And Shout's Perspective, Shouted, is a white woman, apparently a teacher in the state of Tennessee. And this is what she had to say about the new Tennessee law restricting the teaching of racism and sexism in the United States.
I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance. I'm pissed. Tennessee lawmakers just pushed a bill, House Bill 0580, look it up, do your research, that will withhold government funding from any school that allows their teachers to teach about systemic racism, white privilege, or racial injustice in American society. So you're telling me that I'm about to be an elementary school teacher in a predominantly black school in Tennessee, and I have to lie to my children? The children who already know what it is. They're talking about 6 and 7-year-olds aren't old enough to understand racism. We don't need to bring that to them. They experience it. They don't learn about it in school. They experience it when they walk outside. And I have to lie to them and act like that's not the reality because a few white people felt guilty, because it makes America look bad. White America, white society, white history is bad. It is negative. We have always been the bad guys. I'm a white woman, yes, but I'm doing everything I can to be an ally. That does not mean that I will lie to my students. You're going to withhold money from schools that are already underfunded and already underserved.
Y'all, so not only are masks going to be forbidden in some of these school systems, I'm not sure if Tennessee has taken the no mask mandate thing to heart. Oh, I was about to say Genevieve, but Genevieve's off today. So I'm going to have to work that out on myself. But we know Florida the governor of Florida, DeSantis, has banned mask mandates even including school districts, even though some school districts are intend to buck that. And Texas also with the banning of the mask mandates. So not only are these states trying to put your actual children and your lives in danger with the forbidding of wearing masks. I mean, now they're trying to kill the literal teaching of history. Now, listen, let's just be 100% here. This is not, I'm not about to say anything controversial, y'all. The way they teach American history now is already booty, right? Why? I don't see how American history can get more white centric, but they are going for the gusto, honey. They are leaving no stone unturned. We don't want to hear about nothing good niggas did and white people did everything perfect. It's basically the Rick Santorumization of American history, right? They want to make sure that white children, and I guess non-white children alike, all believe that America was just this void of wilderness until the white man came with a civilization in his language and cultivated this capitalist empire that we live in now. Yes, that is exactly how they want these kids to understand this country. Now, you have to explain to me, white people, I know we got some wonderful, wonderful white people with us, like, how do white people teach their kids about racism and stuff, and even about Black history? Because it is going to do harm to Black children to not be instructed about Black history and the civil rights movement. But again, there's so much already that has been omitted from Black history and the civil rights movement that is already not being taught in schools. I don't know if a little bit more erasure is going to harm that. But I said that to say, because I'm making a big blanket generalization here. Black parents give Black children some instruction about Black history outside of the classroom, right? Like, you know, my mother would take me to museums and take me to places that, you know, my school wasn't taking me to make sure that I had a broader understanding of our history, of our struggle, of our culture, of our community. So I know that happens. And again, I'm being very generalizing here, because I know not all Black parents do that, even though all Black parents should do that. But like white parents, like if Black history is just not taught in school, like, do you just not teach your kids Black history? Because the thing is, they don't teach their kids about racism. Now, Peyton, I know that. I know that. That's why these white kids seem to think that, you know, America is this true meritocracy, right? Like, oh, my great granddaddy came over here to Ellis Island, and now we've got, you know, $1.5 million in accumulated family wealth. How come black people? Oh, honey, pull up a chair. There's a long explanation. There's an answer. It's just a lengthy answer. But this is concerning to me, guys. I mean, if the teachers are saying, first of all, I'm very concerned for that white ally like our sis. What's up, Jonathan Guerrero? God damn, Jonathan Guerrero, what's going on, Shorty? Thank you, honey. Thank you. Let me read their joint aloud. Hold on. Jonathan says, Saltine supremacy is a hell of a drug, telling how they're willing to sacrifice their own children to COVID-19. Man, listen. If it'll get the slaves back in the field, listen, Johnny's mama got good health insurance. Johnny's daddy is running that hedge fund. Okay. They got good insurance. They gonna make sure little JR got his shit together. Right. David, why am I not surprised that you have a black wife? I more respect to you. And thank you for telling us that. David says that his wife and his daughter are black, and his wife puts in work, making sure that his child knows that black history. Yes, sir. But we need our white friends to do the same thing with their kids, right? Because apparently they're not going to receive it in schools. All they're going to hear is George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and motherfucking Manifest Destiny and the end. And the natives are alcoholics, and that's their problem. And the black people are lazy and shiftless, and we don't understand why they don't have more. They just lazy, right? Like, that's going to be the narrative going forward. So anyway. See, I feel like I know I'm preaching to the choir when I'm talking to white people that's here with us, because y'all get it. I don't have to explain shit to y'all. Y'all understand it. Tasia, honey, thank you so much. Tasia, thank you so much for your support. Y'all are fucking killing me today, but killing me with blessings. It's amazing. So the moral is, please, y'all, support the teachers that are in these states. Let me say that first and foremostly, because the teachers in Tennessee, and I'm assuming the teachers in Texas are going to be facing similar consequences, but teachers in Tennessee are going to have their licenses pulled, right? They are not going to be able to teach. Like, they are literally going to be stripped of their profession should they be caught teaching. Isn't this some goddamn slavery shit? Like, if you get caught teaching the darkest of history, we're gonna whip you good, Miss Dana. We're gonna whip you good. Like, this is so much anti-learning, anti-blackness, anti-teaching black people stuff that this country is well known for and does amazingly at. It's driving me crazy. That's right, Tony H. Tony H, you and STL, honey, I can only imagine what those critical race protests are looking like in St. Louis. Out in West County, sure. You know, I used to be out in St. Louis, out there in St. Charles. Oh, nigga. They about to be burning crosses if they teach critical race theory, and they going to be like, what's this cross mean? Don't worry about it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to hop off here because we've got us a great AMA coming up for you at 6:30. Everybody that dropped us a super chat today, thank you so much. Thank you so much. People who hit us with PayPal, Cash App, Venmos. I mean, honestly, our deepest thanks go to you, because this fundraiser, for one, has blown our expectations out of the water. It blew my expectations out of the water. Like I said, I didn't know y'all like me like that. So to find out that y'all dig me to drop me a couple bucks, I mean, it brings me a lot of validation. You know, I've had sometimes my ideas stomped upon quite a bit in broadcasting, and people would tell me things like, oh, that's just not going to work, when I knew it would work, right? So I knew this would work, and this is going to keep working. And if you haven't, Smokey, shut up. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. And thank you all so much for your support. We couldn't do this without you. not to put her business out there too much, but Genevieve is going to be leaving us next month because she's going to school. So we wanted to send Genevieve with some school money, so she could buy her a couple books. So this is all going to a great place, y'all. I promise you, I'm not buying Gucci anything with y'all money. Like we're going to improve. We're going to get us a new mic. I think we're going to get us a new camera. This is all stuff to make sure that the product that we're able to bring you improves, right? So thank you. Hey, Gypsy Mama. Hey now, Gypsy Mama. What's up? Thank you guys so much. And again,
hey, just to put it out there, we're at about 45% of the goal. So we can't thank you guys enough. The support's been tremendous, and every penny doesn't go wasted. We appreciate it all.
And tell them, Tunde, we haven't even spent anything. Because guys, again, when we started this, we didn't know what direction this was going to go. We didn't know anything. So we were just like, fuck it. We're just going to go out here and say, fuck it. And the money that you guys have been donating is just been sitting. So we're trying to put the apparatus in place for us to, I don't even want to participate in the whole business. I am not LLC Twitter. Let me just be clear. Okay. That is not me, but unfortunately, those are the steps we kind of have to take. So, I can't thank you all enough. It really means a lot. And if there's anything that y'all want from us, to do, say so in Patreon, or say so in the chat, or say so, tell me in the AMA, which is going to start at 6:30. We're going to do this live for all the Patreon people. So get with the cool kids, everybody. Become a Patreon. Oh, burn it down with Kim Brown so you can hang out with us for our AMAs. And they're usually a lot of fun. We just sit around and talk shit, basically. It's usually a good time had by all. So we'll see you at 6:30 for the AMA. On behalf of Tunde, Genevieve, and Molly, thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for your support. And we will see y'all on Tuesday. Don't forget, also subscribe to Black Power Media tonight. I believe it's Renegade Culture and The Last Dope Intellectual with Dr. CBS and Dr. Layla Brown. I'm not, Jared be on that show sometimes. Yeah. But yes, it's going to be a dope encounter with LDI and Renegade Culture and Riot Starter Television tonight on Black Power Media. So don't forget to set your notifications and subscribe over there as well. We'll see you at 6:30, Patreoners. Everybody else, I'll see y'all on Tuesday. See y'all later. Bye-bye. You guys fucking rock, man. Woo!